Welcome Wolfpack to the newest Scum University tutorial. By the end of this video, you should have a basic understanding of why I set up the characters in Scum the way I do for the servers that I play on. This video is being recorded on April 9th, 2021, and it updates our previous video on the same topic that released on January 1st, 2020. It was definitely time to update this video. We also have an older Scum University video on how to create characters. I will leave a link to both of those videos in the pinned comment down below. If you're not already a Wolfpack member, please join by hitting that subscribe button down below, and if you do, welcome to the Wolfpack. You can also join our Wolfpack Gaming Community Discord by going down into the description and clicking Wolfpack links, and you will find an invite link to our Discord. Keep in mind while you're watching this video that this isn't the only way to build a character in Scum. This is just simply my way of building the character for the servers that I play on and my style of gameplay. If you haven't seen any of my streams, I typically find myself on hardcore survival servers, doing mostly PvE, but I do dabble in PvP sometimes. Not that great at it, but I do. And I typically find myself playing solo or in very small squads, so I have to typically pick one or two of these attributes down here to either make advanced or in the medium, and then I have to level up and grind out the others through the game. Alright, let's get right into it. You can rename your character here. I usually pick around an age of 40 to 45. As you are younger, you get extra points for strength and dexterity. As you grow older, you start to get more constitution and more intelligence. So I usually pick around 45 years old. That gives me a nice 0.5 intelligence and 0.5 strength buff, plus the constitution. You can select anything around here between muscular, fat, and thin. I typically find myself going between muscular and thin, and I try to get my dexterity, constitution points, right around in the 3s and 4s. The more muscular and fat that you are, the more food intake you have to not starve. I'm not even going to attempt this guy's name, but I do appreciate the comment. I'm going to throw him a shout out right here. He says in the comment, "You do know you could allocate each of the stats points manually, right?" I actually did not know that. I responded back to him and told him that I would include that in the next video, and that's why it's here. If you would like to manually set your constitution, dexterity, intelligence, or strength, you can do that right here, and the bar over on the left-hand side will automatically fall into place. But in this game, I typically find myself over here between muscular and thin. In real life, I'm more like that. I typically play with a male gender. I've been going lately with the darker skin tone. I put my tattoos on for some sort of breakup of profile. I like to use that as a camouflage of sorts. And I typically use this either 3 or 4. Conceal mode is on because I don't want to get banned. And then, although I have heard that it may or may not be taken out of the game, penis size is directly attributed to intelligence, so I typically go with the smaller version. The strength skills, I typically leave boxing completely empty because I don't do it a lot. I usually go with melee weapons. My rifle skill, I try to get into the medium or higher. That way I can repair weapons, or most weapons in the game, and I can craft the rails and things that I need for it. I do a lot of melee attacks on puppets, so I typically try to push that into the basic. Handgun I keep basic. I typically keep my archery around basic. That way I can either craft or pick up the basic bows in the game and still have the ability to use and pull back the bow. My constitution, I typically max out endurance because that's your recovery and your length that you can be running or sprinting. I tend to max that out, and then I just finish all the rest of it up and running. For my dexterity skills, I tend to put my stealth up into the medium. That way you can move around the map a little quieter and not alert every puppet on the map. I tend to put more into thievery now so I can be a little bit more forgiving as I'm picking locks because I'm really not that great at it. And you do have to pick locks in Scum now to be able to get good weapons and ammo in the police stations, supply drops, and in the bunkers. And then in demolition, I try to put that into basic so I can do basic traps and disarm mines and things like that. Driving, I almost never find myself a car. I would like to say I could play consistently, but I don't. So typically if I do find a car, I have to leave it in the woods somewhere. So I don't put a lot into driving. And then throwing, I typically leave blank, and then I just level up either throwing spears or rocks around in the game if I need to. Your intelligence skills are where you're going to have to figure out what kind of a player you're going to be or what kind of a squad mate you need in your squad. Engineering, like for me, I have to do a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none type scenario. If I want to build any base-building components at all, I'd like to be in the medium for that. I kind of try to keep my survival in the medium as well, and then my awareness as close to medium as possible. I do believe awareness does affect your sight distance now. I was noticing on one of my recent streams that my sight distance was down to about 50%, and I'm not sure if it's awareness, but I believe it is. Camouflage I typically level up in the game, and sniping I typically level up in the game as well. As you probably have seen, there are several attributes that are still darkened out. Sailing is now in the game, but the attribute is not, so I'm assuming that'll be coming soon. So you see swimming and resistance. Swimming is in the game. You can swim in the game. You just can't level up or increase your skill on it. And then you have heavy weapons, weapons throwing, which are not placed in the game yet as attributes. And then motorcycling, piloting, sailing, climbing, pick locks, and pockets. I'm not sure how that's going to relate to thievery. In the intelligence skills, programming and electronics, biochem, education and psychology, cooking, animal handling, tactics, and medical. I am excited to see how they're going to implement these, but I really, really want to see metabolism before any of those come into play, to be honest. As we create our character, the criminal record is pretty much all the same. Everybody's got the same flaws. Just a useless fact for the day, Zagreb, Croatia is the Gamepire's headquarters, the developers of this game. Everything that you went and decided to do is all plugged in down here, and then we click OK, and we are launched into the game. I will be updating my video on the first steps that I take in Scum in the very near future. I will make sure to update the card that will be popping up at the end of this video as soon as that is released. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please drop a like and consider joining the Wolfpack Gaming community by hitting that subscribe button down below. An entire playlist of Scum University tutorials should be showing up right over there. You can continue on to the next tutorial in the series right down there, and right down there is a video that YouTube thinks you might enjoy on the channel. If you also enjoy strategy and simulation content, consider subscribing to my second channel showing up right now. Click any one of those links, and we will see you over there.